Hello everybody, my name's Ardendris, and welcome back to Sunless Sea. Last time ended with a little bit of technical difficulties, a little bit of story got cut out, and some more story options got disappeared when I had to reload the autosave. But I will make it work. We lost a little bit, but there's still plenty of story for this game. We ended off last time at Quaker's Haven, after most of the episode ended up being like explanations and tutorial bits. The one little bit of story that got cut off was like an impromptu concert with our captain, Arden, and the crew. What's left here at Quaker's Haven? We can't drink at the club. At the pub, not club. Because I think it's because we don't have terror. I think that might be the reason why. Not sure about everything else here. We could pick up a wretched mog, which is a type of cat, but that will take quite a bit of our food, so we might not be doing that. We'll just stick with our current Flemigan or whatever our mascot is. But we can't talk to the fishermen. They sail the sea around the island. They mend their nets by the harbor. They see all that happens here. But you'll need coin to open their mouths. So let's go through this. Little ships and little secrets. Pirates plying the waves, smugglers at their work, Khanate ships putting in to resupply. Nothing dramatic, but enough to interest the Admiralty. So we lost one Echo, we still have 39, and we have a port report for Quaker's Haven. Which we can turn back in when we head back to London. I don't think any of this other stuff we need to worry about right now, so I think it's time to just take off. Let's pause the game real quick. And take a look at the map. We're down here at Quaker's Haven. Came from up here at the Wolfstack Docks in Fallen London. There's a lightship here, and there's quite a bit more to explore. This is a pretty expansive map. We've only gotten this tiny little bit. So, let's resume the game and launch. And let's send out the Z-Bat. Where's the closest place we haven't explored? There are no islands within the Z-Bat's range. That's good to know. We'll just have to go out on our own. Let's just continue heading south. Little ships among the waters here. The crew grow wistful. They swap bold stories of Sunless Sea. We draw near to the Umayan Canal, the way to the surface. Fed the crew. What is down this way? We're approaching the canal to the surface. We've already gone past what I've explored in this game. I've basically just traveled a little bit on my own just to explore, but we've already passed what I've seen. Let's try sending out the Z-Bat again. There are no... Oh, something away to import. Waves slap the side of the ship. Far below, something moves. That is... slightly terrifying. Oops, that's the wrong one. We still haven't discovered anything new down here, and the fact that there's something below us is kind of scary. We'll go a little bit further, then turn around and head back to New London, and then we'll choose a different direction to go. Let's pick up speed a little bit. There's some light up here. We're about to run into a rock. Headlights. Let's pause to take a look at this. Your prow light can be turned on or off. Leaving it on reduces the rate of which you gain terror, but makes you more visible to enemies. Here, the slate black sea is like rippled glass, spiked with light from the roof. Some more scary information. Oh. We've entered combat. Let's slow down a little bit and come about phase. Oh, it's a pirate steam pin. Fire the cannons. There we go. This appears to be our first time in combat. Oh. Okay, that was a risky maneuver we just did there. We very easily could have run into that rock, but it worked out. So that was our first actual bit of combat. We got hit a couple times, but we took minimal damage. So we got a little bit, another tutorial on firing solutions. We just have to make sure that the enemy is within these red line. You're low on supplies. Once you run out, your crew will begin to starve. You can buy more in certain ports. And finally, claiming your prize. Congratulations, you've defeated your opponent. Move to the site of their demise to salvage something. We can go all clear now that we don't need that. And let's take out some stuff, shall we? You destroyed a pirate steam pinnace. I want to say, like, pinnock? I have no idea. Pinnace? It's some pronunciation I'm not entirely sure about. The ship is yours. What will you do with her? The only option we have is to loot and scuttle her. She's a vile old vessel, and these seas aren't safe. Take what you can and move on. Lean pickings, though. These ships don't sail far from their hidden harbors, but here's something at the back of the hold. You have a cache of curiosities, a box full of mystery. Open it. A stout crate. Crates. Source of sustenance. The fundamental element of cargo. We picked up a crate of fuel. Coke. Like coal, but more so. As the Department of Infernal Rarefactions would have it. You have opened up a cache of curiosities, and we've gained 1 fuel. That seems to be a good pickup for us. Let's see what else is around here. I see that in the distance, that should be one of the light ships, so we should be able to have some stories found there. We suffered 8 damage in that combat. The air trembles, a breath of change passes. That's, again, somewhat scary to read. When we're in the unknown. Let's stock up. Again, just the tutorial book. That's gonna be there more or less all the time. We don't have recent news, so we can't speak to the crew, and we don't need fuel right now, so I guess there's nothing left to do here. We will pause the game and then take a look at the map real quick. I'm curious what this red line here is. Maybe that's like what's the word? That might be a sort of like indicator, like this part of the map will almost always be the same, but the further you go out, like everything past this point will change a lot more between captains. Because I believe that is the case, where this area around Fallen London will almost always be pretty similar. Or will always be pretty similar. Like Fallen London I think is always in the same place, and then everything around it will like shuffle slightly. But everything like further out will move a lot more. Like I think the stuff in this area could be like anywhere's on this wall. And that's what it seems like from what I've read about where islands are placed. But we've traveled somewhat. This is a big map, but it might not be as big as I suspected. We didn't take that long traveling south, and we went a decent way. Let's launch. Then I guess head east more? I'm just sort of sort of picking a direction and going with it. Where there's a lightship here, there might be an island nearby, so let's send out the Z-Bat again. No. I'm gonna head over to the bats, but this seems like it might be a bad idea. I'm following the bats into the darkness. Oh! The bats are apparently an enemy. I didn't realize that. Oh. Oops. Wow. These bats are dangerous. Let's turn off the lights and try to get a shot in on them. Your hull is damaged. You can repair it in London's dry docks or at sea by clicking the repair button. Repairs at the sea are slow and consume resources or supply. I think it's best to get out of here. We can't seem to get any hits off. Can we get away? Full power to the engines. Let's pick up some speed in hopes that we can outrun them. That's going to cost a bit of fuel to get that done. I wasn't sure what I was expecting when we approached the bats. I wasn't expecting them to be such a dangerous enemy, though. We're up to 6 terror. Hunger's slowly getting up. Let's check our hold. What do we have left for supply? Only one more. We're gonna have to find an island soon. Oops, I meant to open the map. Let's try again to find an island with the Z-Bat. Let's toggle on the lights. It cost me more fuel, but I'd prefer having it there. Oh, there we go. Station 3 is some distance to the northeast. Click to mark it on your chart. Shepherd's Wash, the salty hinterland of London, home to hermits, nuns, and shadowy business. Why did we get that little piece of information? But how far away is it? Not very far. We basically just have to go northeast at about a 45-degree angle. It's almost... Oops. Meant to resume. There's another one of those giant crabs. Let's keep our distance. Hey, we discovered Depot A and discover Station 3. Storm is watching, the sailors would say. Let's slow down as we pull into port. I very nearly scraped the paint on that one. We may infer a Station 1 and a Station 2. We may conjecture a Station 4. That's Station 3. So, let's see what we can do here. Machinery hums behind high steel walls. Up the hill, there are visible outlines of warehouses and a building with a spire. But the lamps are low where they burn at all, and your ship, the only one in harbor. Let's see, there's a couple options here. Search for signs of other visitors. It never hurts to know what you're up against. A tough challenge, but we could do it. We can try the gate, but it reads deliveries. We don't have a long box, so we can't do that. But we can train our telescope on shore. It'd be best to get a look from a distance. Birch or something else? You stand on the high point of your ship and look to shore. There's a steepled building on the horizon, by far the largest thing in sight, with no cross marks at the top of it, nor any other symbol you recognize. We pick up a port report, which is good, because it's not looking like we'll be able to pick up supplies here. So our next option is probably heading back to Fallen London, and then we'll probably head north this time. We can try the gate. No way in. The metal is steel hard and ice cold to the touch. Attempts with chisels and crowbars fail. Perhaps if you could bring the ship's guns to bear, but no. If you return with a certain delivery, the gate will be open. You'll know if you find it. Unlocked with one-time Soothing Cooper Longbox. And I suppose the final thing to do before heading off is to look for other visitors. But we didn't find anything. Walked the quays, looking for any little sign that might show what sort of ship's stock here and what they deliver. But you find nothing conclusive. Not even so much as a smear of pitch or a damp footprint. If any ship but yours has been tied up here in recent days, it has left no evidence. So, perhaps next time we return here, we'll get more information, and we'll be able to see what this is all about. But for now, nothing. So, I guess head up north just a little bit more before turning east, or west, rather. I'm very curious what these are. I haven't been able to do anything with them yet. Fed the crew. Your pager score is 52, so glean another 134 fragments to gain a secret. Uh-oh. We're low on fuel. We might be stranded out in the dark. I think we're going to have to cut the lights, just to be safe. And instead of exploring, we'll just head straight back to Fallen London. Is that an enemy? Cut the lights, so we're less noticeable. Quick look to the map. Wolf's Rift. This might be an island here. We discovered Wolf's Rift. Oh, it's a lighthouse. Oh, there's a dock here. Far off, very far off, someone screams. Something awaits you in port. Discovered Field Haven. Dock up. Deep lichen and standing stones. Shepherd Islands. Of course, the bearded watchman tells you, there are no actual shepherds on the Shepherd Isles. Sheep are mostly illegal here. No, indeed, it's just the name of the gentleman that found the islands. Greybeard sitting in the village square nods solemnly. No sheep, one says, but plenty of tales. Ask us anything. So we have quite a few options here. Stuff we can do, some stuff we can't. Let's take a look at them, though. You can have a picnic at the Standing Stones. The bearded villagers will sell you mud and stew and kefir, and stone bottles of cold, fresh spring water, and row you over to the stones. Unlocked with terror, unlocked with echo, and unlocked when something awaits you. Stories await you when you next make port. So... oh, okay. So we get a choice of one of these four, I think. But we can make a port report, which I think will just do. In the bleak light of the false stars, surface roiling like a porridge pot, up with a roar of steam and flash of fire, 3 widows swimming, tentacles, and then he saw his highness. There is rather a lot of this material. You now have a port report. So, we have 4 choices to make. One of 4 choices to make. We can have a picnic, which will cost us a little bit of echo, but get rid of our terror. There's the Tales of the Standing Stones. The bearded villagers are happy to talk about the local site. So we'll learn a little bit more about the island. Or we can learn some about these graves. Or... what about the tale to the north, the isle to the north, the one that isn't bridged? Which of these do we go with? Let's go with the Tales of Thornwell Croft. We did have a bridge, the old devil called Light. We did have a bridge, but the ship of lights came through here once, all of shining brass, lamps like scars, all those darned on deck at once. Couldn't tell if they were laughing or screaming. Plowed through the bridge and kept on going. Everyone who tries to rebuild it bursts into flames, so we don't try to rebuild it anymore. We've gained 5 fragments, and we gained a Z story. And I think that's all we can do here. Yep. Let's take a quick look at our officer. Let's speak to the sly one. We already know what he wants. He wants to see an island up north that's like a really cold, like ice frozen island, I think is what he wants. But we have a secret, and we can use it to increase our mirrors. Let's go for it. Tell me a tale and I'll tell you another. The Z is full of stories. Finding a secret will improve your mirrors, but no higher than 50. The Z. The Navigator. The Navigator likes to talk about the Z. He has long opinions on its beauties, its dangers, its salinity, its depth and its contents, and the rest. Every other sentence starts with the Z. Z, Z, Z. After a while, you reach the point of semantic satiation, and the word Z means no more to you than the word Zop. But you seem to have learnt something. We lost a secret, but we get 1 point in mirrors. So we'll do a little bit better on some later checks. Let's take a quick pause, and yep, if we just head straight west, we'll eventually reach Fallen London. So, let's get going. We need 29 more fragments to gain a secret. Wow. That was silly of me. Uh-oh. You have gained a secret. Speak to your officers to improve your abilities. We discovered Westergren's Fire. 50 fragments gained. We discovered Flitterstone Isle. 50 fragments gained. Is that an enemy? Do we have to go through combat to get back to Fallen London? Crew groans with hunger. Your crew needs provisions. You can all tighten your belts, but bad things will begin to happen. This card will remain available as long as hunger is over 50. Don't let hunger reach 100. Okay. So this is mildly troubling. We are out of food. And we're still quite a bit ways from... I should have had the picnic. They would have fed us. That was kind of silly. And we do have to go through combat first before... Oh. Well, my crew is not good at aiming, apparently. How much farther? Quite a bit. I don't think we have time to stop at Flitterstone. Although, I'm not sure if we can make it all the way to... I don't even see a dock there. There are fewer rats around the ship lately. Perhaps it's because your hold is empty of supplies. Perhaps it's because your crew is turning to alternative sources of nutrition. We can forbid the consumption of vermin. Everyone is hungry, but you can't let discipline slip. Turn a blind eye to the consumption of vermin. Discipline might slip, but your crew are close to starvation. I think this is a desperate situation, so I'll turn an eye. Rats do. You don't partake yourself, obviously. The officer class must maintain its dignity. You ignore the necklace of rat bones that the gap-toothed gunner now sports. Though we lost hunger, but we gained terror. This again. We really just need to make it back to Fallen London. Where are we? We are here. Let's not run into an island on our way back. This thing's gonna follow us the whole ways. Our fuel reserves are empty. We're really close, though. We're right there. I had to turn off the lights, or else I don't think we were making it. Uh-oh. I didn't even realize these popped up. Desperate measures. This is much like the supplies thing. This will give us options when we're running low. Abandoned ship. We're not going to do this one yet because we're right at port, but let's take a look at it. Draw lots for lifeboat places. Cast yourself on the mercy of the waves. There's a tiny chance that you'll find your way back to London without either crew or ship. Perhaps it will be better if you don't. An offer of assistance. Ahoy, Captain, out of fuel are we? That was unwise. We can help for a reasonable price under these circumstances. Pay the towing fee. 100 echoes to travel the tiny distance between here and the docks. Well, salvage rights. Well then, we can give you a lift. But we're legally entitled to take your ship and cargo. God bless the masters of the bazaar and their salvage laws. God bless them. This will remove your ship and replace it with something minimal and a tiny bit of fuel. You'll probably lose your cargo too, but you'll keep any cash and lodgings, and at least you'll be alive. No, we can make it into dock. It's right there. If we can't make it that far with 80% fuel. Hunger is dangerous though. Are we gonna hit 100 hunger just before we reach port? 95. Dock. Oh, that was very dangerous. That was very dangerous. We were very, very close. An inspection by the Ministry of Public Decency. Some things are too illegal for the Customs Service to admit the existence of. The Ministry are here looking for those. Nothing to hide. You shrug and invite them to search your ship as thoroughly as they would like. We have none of these things. They leave scuff marks on the newly scrubbed decks and take great pleasure in tangling the rigging. They'll find nothing more dangerous than moldy ship's biscuit. Okay. The light of London welcomes you home. This storylet only appears when you've been at sea for a little while. We can collect messages from the harbor master. And all the clatter and song of the dockside. It soothes your soul. Are there messages for you? What's this? Let's see. Something has changed in the Neath. Another day. I'm the healer. Your time at sea will change you. And London. Someone wants to sign on. That might be good. That's all for now. You'll find a story when you next make port. You now have one of these. Another day, a free evening. Precious time away from a captain's duties. How will you spend it? And the Rose Market bustles on Rosa's Dwarf. Who will be there today? But we got a couple more pop-ups while we were just coming into port. Let's see what they are. A very fine evening to you, Captain. What you might call mentor is very fond of adventurous sea captains, and who would like to offer you what you might call a dispensation on account of he is so fond of sea captains. Behind the blind bruiser on the dock stands a dray piled high with fuel and supplies. Accept the dispensation. Do make sure you have 15 points of space in the hold, or come back later. It would be embarrassing to have to leave it on the dock. Inquire further. Who is this patron? Is there a catch? We really need these resources, but I might be a little concerned where it comes from. I don't want to offend him. I feel like we gotta inquire, but just taking it might be a good idea too. An airy wave. He runs a very fine and very liberal establishment just across the river. What is much patronized by sailors and by men of wit and vinegar. And public house. And there is no obligation to speak of. My patron would hope only that you might remember him kindly. And I suppose that, if the opportunity should arise for you to return his kindness, then I do not imagine he would refuse your offer. Continue. Yeah, let's take it. This might have repercussions later, but I think we need it. A courteous nod. Oh, my patron hopes that you find these little gifts to your liking, and he expects that perhaps someday you might choose to call on him at the Medusa's head. Should that day come, we will make you very welcome, and give you any safe conduct which you might require. Good evening to you. You now have 10 fuel. You now have 5 supplies. You accepted the proposal. And you now have 1 menace's suspicion. Oh, you rapscallion. This will increase as you conduct criminal activities, or have contact with rough sorts. The higher your suspicion, the more fiercely the excise will search your ship. So, we might not be with the most cleanly of people, the ones with the most clean hands. But we really needed that information. Or those supplies. Let's see what else is here. Mouths to feed. We have provisions now, so this should probably just go away when we let some pass time. I hope. Oops. Let's look at a specialist surgeon then. She is staying at a respectable boarding house near the docks, and has made it known that she is available for work. Employ the cattery. Oh, there's a little more there. I specialize in amputations. It's easy to acquire unwanted appendages at sea. Employ the ugh. That's not a hard word. Why did I just stumble over it twice? The clattery air. Her talents could be well employed on your vessel. The clattery air is a doctor who increases hearts and iron. That's most of our money, but I think it will be worth it. Welcome aboard. She comes with a bag full of knives and her own personal sharpening stone. Don't touch these. Don't let anyone else touch them. Appoint your new officer by dragging her from the officers tab to her slot on the top of the screen. Should this import, not at sea, you may unsettle your crew. They will have no more recruits for the moment. Let's just go in and do that real quick. And before we continue on... Oops, not unassign. Speak to. He works with 2 scalpels at a time, or with a scalpel and a tined instrument, pinning open the flesh she's working on. Her operations are brisk and yield very little blood. Ugh. So there's a couple options. We can invite her to dine with us. Does she wield a fork the way she wields a surgical instrument? Or we can proposition her. We're gonna hold off on that one. But let's dine with her. Precise bite sizes. The cooked flesh arrives still in its shell. From the claws, 8 legs, body, and head, she renders a dozen neat bite-sized piles of shredded flesh, sutured with mushroom, or pinned together with a needle of chitin. Perhaps she has missed a calling as a chef. She denies it. My mother was the child of a surgeon in the first city. You might say that knife work runs in the family. There was a wicked, quirking smile at the corner of her mouth. Then there are the rumors about my father. She would deny there's any truth in those. Oh. I assume those rumors might be about her father's disappearance. Quotes. Quote unquote. Or perhaps just outright death that might or might not have been murderous. But anyways. An occurrence. Your learning about the clattery air quality is now alerted to rumors about the clattery air's parentage. Her father? He becomes more talkative when she has something to cut. Perhaps you can get her to say more about her father. But we'll need a strange catch for that. We can increase hearts. Now that we've learned more about her. I wish I could read what this says, but just too long. And again, we could proposition her, but let's hold off on that one for a little bit. We can go to London proper, the lodgings at the Rosers Wharf. Let's go to the Rosers Wharf. We'll end off in London. The Rose Market caters to collectors and eccentrics, anyone with exotic taste and the gumption to harass Z captains. According to the archaic rules of the market, you can only make one trade per visit. Choose wisely. The honey-addled detective is collecting watchful curios. We don't have a watchful curio. Contrarian is purchasing long boxes, which we also don't have. Escort some interested acquaintances to the Rose Market. They hope to make a satisfying trade. This will usher in a new day at the Rose Market, and perhaps new buyers. Sure, let's do it. Puppet plays press on and uninterrupted. Personal collections grow. Words written in fogged mirrors are hastily wiped away. The exotic exchanges pollinate dreams. Oh, we lost another day, a free evening. So there's going to be less options for what we do in London. That perhaps was a mistake. Anyways, wasted opportunity, but there's still some stuff to do. We will need to put our ship in dry dock. We took quite a bit of damage while we were exploring. We can visit the university now. Or we can visit the Admiralty's office. Let's take care of our ship. Hopefully. The only options are these two at the bottom. The Rats of Fallen Londons are remarkably skilled engineers, and they know ships well. They are not, however, reliable. Payment is in kind, not currency. So... Lock this... Those... We can't have the cat thing with us, so they're like actual rats. I suppose I shouldn't be too surprised. But that'll take 3 of our food to repair our ship. Let's hold off. So, we can visit the university. Let's do it. The university has an inexhaustible appetite for secrets, Z specimens, and other tidbits of esoteric lore. Provide a secret to prove yourself worthy of entry. That's new. Quite impressed. Oh, yes. The university's maritime liaison whispers breathlessly. Oh, yes, this is quite a tasty one. Let me explain it to you. He explains, teeth glinting. Perhaps the word is they? You've lost one secret, a twist in your tale. You are now Favor's antiquarian. You've combed the Z for stories and other treasures. You gain 1 pages. We're up to 51 now. The alarming scholar is mercurial, to say the least. A creature of sudden moods and provoking teeth. Possibly her... Is it her? Appointment at University Maritime Liaison was precautionary. Keep his... Is it his? Razor-sharp enthusiasm from causing too many injuries in the faculty. Yes, the scholar whispers breathlessly. I have a budget for acquisitions. What have you brought me? If you have any knowledge items that the scholar will buy, they'll appear below. A memory of distant shores, a piquant piece of picaresque pilgrimage, or a Z story, a searing enigma, a dread surmise. A couple of little things we can't do yet. But we do have 2 Z stories, and a memory of distant shores. Let's do these. Wells of emotion. As the alarming scholar listens, tears well in the depths of those shining, or is it blazing eyes? The overflow splashing onto the desk blotter. Stop! He sobs at last. Okay, I'm just going to be using they for now. I'm skipping those parts. This is too beautiful. Allow me to bring the macaw of mysteries, memories. I wish each individual tone recalled. You've lost 1 memory of distant shores, but we gained 10 echo. And we gained a point for Favor's antiquarian. one more point to reach level 2. A Z story. A Tale of the Deep. Difficult dictation. Thrilling. Let me hear every detail. First, I must find my fountain pen. Oh, how regrettable. It has a spider impaled on the nib. Excuse me. Let me... Good heavens, it's still alive. Pass me that volume of Gibbon. There we go. You have another pen. You've lost one Z story, but we gained 10 Echo, and we've leveled up Antiquarian. Favor's Antiquarian has increased to 2. You have combed the Z for stories and other treasures. And we have one more Z story, but I think we'll hold on to it for now. We got a little bit of cash from that. You have business to attend to, and besides, the scholar keeps snapping their teeth like a mechanical trap. So, the last thing to do here in Fallen London is visit the Admiralty Survey Office. So, your Admiralty's picket fleets and intelligence networks are long gone. Oh, we've read this before, I think. Or I read it to myself. I'm not sure if I've read it out loud. But we have some things to... quite a bit to tell. Shepherd's Island. Shepherd Isles, submit as fact. We do hear some peculiar tales of that place. Veil's quality gives you an 18% chance of success. Let's not go with that right now. Or we could submit it as unsubstantiated hearsay. But let's move on to other places first. Station 3. Excuse me, just let me call a colleague in. Omitted. This is my colleague, Mr. Villine, of the Ministry of Public Decency. Mr. Villine, this good captain's report is here. If you would care to... Yes, the fire is already lit. Let us... There we go. Now only ashes remain, and it might have caused such a lot of trouble. Thank you, Captain. We appreciate your discretion. Here is your payment. You need not trouble yourself further in this affair. You no longer have any of this, port report Station 3. You've gained 100 Echo. You now have a new accomplishment. Surveyed Station 3. I say Station 13 here. On the very edge of London's influence, curious matters are conducted. Oh, is that what the red line on the map is? It's what London has, influence over. You now have one favor with the Admiralty. Admiralty's favor. You have done service for the Admiralty, and they won't forget it. And we gained a fuel. Let's go with Quaker's Haven. Been trying the original rubbery lumps, have we? You lost 1 report for Quaker's Haven, and we gained some Echo. We gained another favor, and your visit to Quaker's Haven has been confirmed by the Admiralty Records Office. Plus we gain a fuel. And finally, Shepherd Isles. I don't want to fail it, so let's just submit it as unsubstantiated hearsay. We do hear some unlikely tales of the place. Friendly scoffing. I agree, it does seem implausible. So many of the stories from that place do. Still, there is a little gold of truth in the mud of rumor from time to time. Your payment, Captain. You no longer have any port reports for Shepherd Isles. But we did gain 10 Echo, we gained a favor, and we surveyed the Shepherd Isles. Plus, we gained a fuel. Now, we can speak to the Admiral. Or... let's attempt to speak to the Admiral. No appointment, but... apparently I'm to show you in anyway. Very well. The dark spectacled Admiral. You've ushered into his office off Mansion's pyre. A cramped room with a vast desk. Ugh. He surveys you across that desk. Ah yes, the merchant captain of whom we hear such complicated things. Really, you've heard so much about me? Oh well. The Admiral will purchase intelligence from you. Subsistence. Ugh. I'm having some trouble with words today, apparently. Ask if the Admiralty can provide a little fuel to cover your costs. But you need 4 favor. Submit vital information. Well, we don't have any. submit port reports, but I think we used them all. We can ask what he needs. Perhaps he'll give us a mission. Information. Visit a port, and we'll be interested in the port report. Visit places of particular interest, and we'll be interested in the strategic information you can gain thereby. We will pay you well, don't worry. We understand you can't be expected to act entirely for the love of the Empire. His lip curls. What's left of it? And I think that's all here. Return to the docks. So, from the side, we have quick access to the Scholar to sell tales, and the Admiral to sell port reports, or just other things. And there's nothing left to do in London, I don't think. Let's see, we're pretty low on supplies. They're pretty expensive. Or do any of these other sellers sell supplies, or is it just that one for 20? I don't see anything else. We're at 4. That will get us by for a little while. A few days, at least. We've done a couple things over here. Here is what we've been working on. We're pretty high up on terror. Reduce this with shore leave, especially in London. When you return to London after time at sea, your terror will always drop to 50. That's a bit scary that we're only at 17 now, but the further on we go, it's going to be like up at 50 all the time. Let's check out our lodgings. Read the morning papers for recent news. News from home. I think this is the same as it's always been. We lost a terror, and we gained some recent news. That will be useful. We can rest for a while. That will get rid of one terror, it looks like. Might as well. 10 echoes to get rid of one terror. And we gain a restful night, which will be useful for something eventually, I assume. And I think that's all that's left to do here in London. And with that, I think we're going to call it here. This game seems like it's going to take a while. And every episode, things are going to happen, but maybe not as many things as it feels like happen. Like, we explored like 4 islands, or 3 islands or something like that, and sailed all the way back here. And it felt like that's not a lot, but it felt like it took a while anyways. So yeah, this is going to be a rather long game. But anyways, next time, actually, let me do this. Okay, the crew was fed there. That's good. Let's take a look at the map. We explored all of this, which looks like a lot, but didn't feel like a lot. But next time, we're going to explore north up. We're going to go up north, explore ways. Just fill out more of the map. Still not 100% sure what this red line is. We'll figure that out eventually, probably. But anyways, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed as much as I have. My name is Hardendrous, and I hope to see you next time. Take care.